Okay, here we go. So today we're going to be using Laguna Wax Resist. And basically Wax Resist is something that will burn off in the shelves on the kiln without damaging anything, but will allow whatever you're putting on as glaze to not stick to that place on the pottery where you're putting the Wax Resist. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to get just a little bit on a very, very lightly damp sponge. You squeeze it out really good. And get you a piece of paper that you can just dab on, like so. And on the bottom of your piece, you can do it like this. You see it going on. Now, what I like to do to make it easy is take that sponge and just make certain that you've got it even on the bottom. If you can't see your Wax Resist, you can always put a couple of drops of edible food dye, you know, the little places that you get at like the supermarket in the bakery section. Now, if you notice right here, I haven't put any, but it's all the way up to this spot going around. So when you've got little bitty spots like this, you want at least 1/16 of an inch up the side of your pot with the Wax Resist so that you don't accidentally get any glaze on that part and it sticks to your shelf because it's too far down, and when it goes to melt, it's just going to keep going. So the way you keep that from happening is you put Wax Resist on there. So now that I've gotten this bottom done, and you can see it's already tacking up really nicely, I'm going to go back with a small brush and I'm going to gently brush in a little bit more wax there. And this is also very easy. All I'm doing is just getting some on the brush. And when you have a banding wheel, it's a lot easier. So all you're going to do is allow that to go right along that edge. And the momentum from the banding wheel will allow it to continue while it's turning without you having to use both hands. Now, one thing to remember, once you use a brush for Wax Resist, you don't want to put it in any glazes or anything. What you're going to want to do is you're going to have to rinse this out underneath hot water, or, you know, put you some water in your kettle and cook it like you're going to boil for tea, and then swish your brush around in it, and then wash your brush with a little bit of dishwashing soap, and then leave it to air dry. This keeps you from contaminating your glazes, but it also will keep your brush from putting wax on something, and later when you're using your glaze, it will not stick because the wax is the barrier that keeps the glaze from sticking. The other thing you want to make sure of is you want to make sure when you're putting it on, I don't know if you can see this, but right here, I got a little goop of wax. Once that's on there, until it fires, there's no way of getting that off. So you have to be really, really careful. If you put the dye in the food dye in the Wax Resist, it's a little bit easier to see, especially like on white pieces, because the Wax Resist is pretty light colored and it becomes slightly opaque, but not truly opaque. So sometimes it's hard to see where it's at. Always use really good light when you're putting on Wax Resist because it helps out a lot. And if you do it that way, then you don't have to worry about it.